Welcome to the Tealium Challenge series. Today we'll be looking at how you can use Tealium to easily upgrade or switch web analytics vendors. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Ben Kennedy and I'm a solution consultant at Tealium. Web analytics is an essential technology to your business. It gives you visibility into visitor behavior on your website and apps, helping you to make better data-driven decisions that improve your customers' experience. It is also a source of data for your enterprise data warehouse or big data platform. But with technology evolving so quickly in today's market, what happens when you need to migrate or upgrade your web analytics platform? If you're not using an enterprise tag management solution, this can be a time-consuming, costly, and risky process, leading to lost data, missed opportunities, and potentially incomplete insights. In an ideal world, any data sent from your website to your web analytics platform should be portable from one vendor to another in a point-and-click user interface, without requiring heavy coding on the site. In addition, any data that's currently being stored offline in log files should not be lost or interrupted, minimizing downtime, reducing effort, and saving web development costs. So with that, let's take a look at how Tealium can help with migrating web analytics versions and vendors. The Tealium solution uses a couple of neat features to make the migration of web analytics seamless and stress-free. Firstly, using Tealium we can leverage any existing data object provided by your current web analytics vendor. We then create a visual representation of this existing data object in our user interface and let you transform, enrich, and simplify the definitions used for each attribute. Then we can use our point-and-click user interface and our marketplace of vendors to map attributes to your new vendors or versions. And then finally, if you're using log file delivery or export your web analytics data offline somewhere, we can stream the data directly from your cleaned Tealium data layer directly into a web accessible storage location of your choice. We even have the option to store log files on your behalf in Tealium's Event Store module, or as a structured database using Tealium's Event DB. So let's take a look at a demo of some of these features. On the screen here you can see our cleansed data layer. It's the foundational element of your Tealium implementation, and it is the single common definition that describes all your digital data. This data layer contains data coming from any source, websites, cookies, JavaScript values, metadata sources, to name a few. And when we deploy Tealium, we can reuse your existing web analytics provider's data object and bring it into this user interface here that you can see on the screen. You can extend or add new data points directly from here. Tealium has integrations with CMS vendors and e-commerce platforms that allow you to enrich your existing web analytics data layer. If I click Add Variable here, we could either create a one-off variable using one of these data types, or we could also use our integrations and add common variables from a set of various vendors such as Sitecore, Magento, Hybris, Demandware, or Adobe. And by doing this we can bring in data layer elements directly from those providers. So if I look at the Hybris one here, we would automatically bring in data points such as page type, product ID, product SKU. You can now map the data points here into your new version or vendor using this point-and-click user interface. So let's take a look how. So let's say for example we were migrating to WebTrends or upgrading our WebTrends version. We would simply select the WebTrends tag and then we would go through a process of configuring that tag. Tealium will maintain the tag template for WebTrends so that it will always work on the most up-to-date version or whichever version you're working on. So we would go through these three-step process, and this is the same for any tag that you would set up inside of Tealium. So the first stage being some generic vendor setup. We would then decide when we would fire that tag. We call these load rules. Obviously for web analytics we want that to fire everywhere. And then finally we're going to fuel our tag with data. So the data layer elements will be then passed to specific parts of this vendor. So for this we can choose from our drop down here, and this is just going to list every single data layer element, so let's maybe take page name, and we would select a destination to map it to. And this is where we look at our mapping toolbox for this particular vendor. So maybe we wanted to map page name to page title inside of this vendor. And by doing that, you can see how we've mapped page name to wt.ti, which is the name that this vendor is given for that particular data attribute. We go through a process of doing that for all of our other data layer elements, and then we're done. We would hit finish, and then we would hit save and publish, and we have the option there of publishing either to a dev environment, a QA environment, or production. Finally, by deploying the Tealium collect tag, I can take a copy of my data layer and any event that's flowing through it and place this event level data in a storage location of your choice. To do this, we simply add the Tealium collect tag into our deployment from the library here. Here we can see all live events coming from our site or app in real time. Included in each event will be all the data contained in the data layer. This particular view is showing all conversion events. We can set up filtered streams, which are a subset of all events that are coming through your site or app. So for example, we could set up a stream of all failed keywords that are returning no search results. Using Tealium, you can easily create filtered streams of data, like here where we have conversion events defined by the presence of an order ID being assigned. We can then use those filtered streams to either store the data inside of Tealium's event store in a semi-structured format, or we could even store it in Tealium's event database. If you didn't want to use Tealium's event store or event database products, or stream this out directly to one of the vendors that you see here on the screen in Tealium's connector or server-side marketplace. I could also use a webhook to send the events in either a filtered or completely unfiltered fashion to any web-enabled endpoint set up to receive this type of semi-structured raw event level data. This means that you've got complete continuity in terms of data collection and storage as you migrate or upgrade your web analytics platform. In addition, you use the naming conventions you set up in your data layer to make it easy for your data teams to analyze the events as they're coming through the platform. You also have the enhanced ability to create these filtered data sets, meaning less time is spent manipulating and ETLing your data in your data warehouse or data lake. So, as you can see, using Tealium makes the process of upgrading or migrating your web analytics provider far less painful. So to summarize, what we did is we reduced effort by reusing your existing data object from your existing vendor. We then allowed you to expand your data layer with a set of pre-built integrations. We use minimal coding to make the migration and upgrade easier. This is achieved using Tealium's marketplace of vendor integrations. We also allow you to own your own data and store it with a naming convention that you define. Finally, we can also improve site performance using products like Tealium's event stream. This allows us to take the weight of an analytics JavaScript tag completely off the page so that the events are not delivered client-side, they would be delivered server-side by Tealium. This massively improves site performance as web analytics tends to be quite a data-hungry tag. If you'd like to suggest a challenge you want Tealium to solve or want to check more videos in this series, then please go to tealium.com/challenge. Thanks for watching.